Hello and welcome to How to Survive. My name is Joe and joining me as ever is Chris. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Joe. Thanks for having me along. I'm excited to talk about movies.
Chris, you sound a little hoarse. Is something the matter?
Yes, I ate something which was so spicy it burned my throat and made my tongue swell up.
Oh gosh, what was it?
Chicken korma.
But why is your voice so high-pitched?
I forgot where I live, and I slept in the helium factory by accident.
The helium factory? Dear. Well, we were due to talk about the Nicholas Roeg movie, Don't Look Now, this week.
Yes, that's right. It's very scary.
Should we talk about it next week instead? Maybe it would be good to give your voice a chance to heal.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Okay, well listener, while Chris's voice heals up, why don't we dig into the archive and pull out an extra special episode? This was originally released in the Trick or Treat 2016, which was our Halloween special that year, so you may not have heard it. But without further ado, here is How to Survive Wallace and Gromit in The Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
Wow, that was quite an experience.
Yeah. What do you think?
It was pretty intense.
You're looking a little pale, actually.
Yeah. Well, quite like the characters in that movie, if I say so myself.
Yeah. It was pretty upsetting, right? I mean,
yeah.
They were
Troubling.
What do they have? Like deformities? Or?
Yeah. I mean, you don't like to say really, but I mean, it's quite a cast.
Where did they find them?
I think it's
Did they get in trouble for making this film? It seems a bit
well.
exploitative.
It seems you had that whole. I think it came after the whole video nasty sort of thing.
Yeah.
Didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll recap the plot, shall we?
Yeah. Probably should.
Yeah. So this is like a British horror movie.
It's set in Britain.
Yeah, and it's like sort of quaint countryside, and it's sort of like echoes of Wicker Man.
Yeah.
And sort of Straw Dogs.
Yeah,
that sort of rural,
isolated, insular community.
Yeah. And it's difficult to pin down the time period as well, isn't it? It's sort of like it follows, that sort of indeterminate era. But it's like
especially with the kind of technology as well. Because there is a weird sort of lean towards having that.
Yeah. Because you would think that it's an old era.
Yeah.
But
a lot of the people in it are old.
Yeah. That's true. That's disturbing.
Is there anyone under the age of like 50 in it?
No. It's disturbing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Well, here we go. Here's the recap. An eccentric English inventor runs a small-town pest control company alongside his live-in business partner who, despite being apparently mute, is able to communicate through a series of coordinated brow movements.
Weird, really.
Yeah. It's an odd couple, isn't it?
Yeah.
Their humane pest control efforts have attracted the praise of local noblewoman Lady Tottington, for whom one of the men holds a candle. A local outbreak of pests is enough to drive business to breaking point, with the pair seeking a humane way of destroying, in inverted commas, the creatures they capture, not wanting to resort to the uncouth methods of local sex pest Lord Quatermain. A lot of sort of regal, regentry.
It's a bit of a, much like Kill List was when we talked about it last week. I mean, you suggested it could be a sort of working class
anti-establishment sort of thing. Yeah, they construct a crude machine. This is the pair who own the pest control company.
Yeah.
They construct a crude machine to brainwash the captured animals into changing their behaviour, but accidentally overload the machine. One of the creatures appears to show side effects from its treatment, but the pair dismiss it as trivial. We know where this is going.
Yeah.
That night, the pair head out to hunt. The mute hunter is left alone and confronted by a gigantic creature. Unable to scream, he bravely chases the overgrown pest until it escapes. The next day, he is horrified to find evidence that the monster is in fact his business partner and housemate, who since their blunderous experiment transforms under moonlight into an anthropomorphized version of their captured pests. So it's a sort of werewolf Frankenstein sort of thing going on. Lord Quatermain, you remember him from earlier?
Sex pest.
Yeah, gets wind of this development and makes it his business to kill the beast at the town's autumn festival. Under the light of the moon, he hunts our hero in his beast form, only to be thwarted at the final moment by the mute business partner who tricks the local bloodthirsty villagers into thinking Quatermain himself is the monster. Lady Tottington donates her ground as a sanctuary for the local fauna, and that's how the film ends.
Yeah.
And that film is Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
Yeah, good choice.
Yeah. What did
Yeah.
you think of the film, Joe?
It's not what we normally do, is it?
Isn't it?
Bit of a kids' film, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was good. It was good enough.
It's always interesting to see a horror movie that focuses on the sort of minutiae of rural British life.
Yeah,
Don't
it
you
was
think?
very British.
It is
like,
very British, yeah.
I mean, but it's more like Nigel Farage's Britain than anyone else's.
There's very few black or minority ethnic characters.
Exactly. And it's kind of like the only event that they're all looking forward to is the village
The
fete,
only thing that gives
where
their life meaning is growing vegetables in their tiny terraced allotments out the back. Yeah.
I felt a genuine anxiety when like all of their hard work was just getting destroyed by the rabbit.
Well, the bit where Gromit's marrow gets smashed is genuinely this
heartbreaking.
it is sad. It's very sad.
He still won the award
He did, yeah, but it was sort of
for valor.
yeah,
really
exactly.
big
That's
marrow.
not. It's like the booby prize, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
the fucking milk monitor at school, isn't it? Oh, well done, you like followed the rules.
Yeah, I like the dog fight. It was quite funny.
Yeah, it's clever, isn't it? Good pun, that dog fight.
And then the whole film is a pun. Like
Yeah.
everything that happens is
It's like
puns.
Airplane.
Yeah.
Like it's like every shot has a stupid joke in it.
I think the funniest sequence was when Lord Farquaad.
Lord Victor Quatermain,
Lord
played
Vic-
by Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah, in a career best.
Yeah,
He goes up to Wallace and he wants to get his hair back. His like hairpiece.
yeah.
And he's like, I want my toupee. He's like, oh, you want to pay? That's
Yeah.
fine. He's like,
Cash
no,
your check.
I want my hair. He's
Yeah.
like, no hairs here, just rabbits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the best monster movies we've covered, probably.
Yeah. I mean, it has all the hallmarks, doesn't it?
It's like very much in the same sort of ballpark as The Fly, because it's got that, you know, the two pods, the Wallace and the animals strapped together, and then they sort of take on characteristics of the other.
Yeah.
Because obviously the rabbit who appears, you know, that you're led to believe, it's the film's big twist, Joe.
Yeah.
That you're led to believe the rabbit that the machine overloaded on is the were-rabbit, but
It's actually Wallace.
but it's actually Wallace. But the rabbit in question then starts turning into Wallace, which is a direction that the Fly didn't go down.
I know.
But I would have liked seeing
the Fly
a miniature
turning into a man.
a miniature Jeff Goldblum.
I seem to remember that the original Fly did have that element.
Right.
Not that I've seen it. This is from
Reading about it.
anecdotal memory.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like there's a close up of the Fly and it's got a man's head.
Right.
This is the 50s version, of course.
Well, there's a book called Metamorphosis as well, which is about. Is it Franz
That's Kafka, yeah. It's Kafka-esque, that is.
Kafkaesque. Yeah. Which is about a man who gets turned into a fly.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, the big comparison for me in this film was The American Werewolf in London, particularly the scene where Wallace actually transforms in front of everyone. You
Right.
get the close-up of his hand stretching out.
Yeah, yeah.
And like bursting out of his clothes.
Yeah.
And that's like a scene, it's really a shot-for-shot recreation, if anything. It's
It
really
is,
similar.
yeah. I think it wears its like various horror influences very
Yeah.
much on its sleeve, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah.
Peter Kay in the film.
Yeah, is the police officer, is it?
Yeah, very good.
What do you think of that?
And much since, is he? Like, he wasn't even invited back to the Oscar-winning movie.
No.
Parade?
Pantheon.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is good, isn't it? That it won an Oscar. That sort of makes you feel warm inside.
For what animated
Because
film?
Aardman are fantastic, aren't they? Like
Chicken Run, they did.
Chicken Run, Wallace and Gromit.
They bombed
and
after this. They always before this or after this. They made Flushed Away,
Flushed Away was before this.
and it cost
And
about 40 million.
And I think, but that was all CGI though. I think mostly
yeah.
CGI. And I think they had a sort of maybe a 2-picture deal with DreamWorks, and I think that this underperformed as well overall.
But it's very good if you like Wallace and Gromit, and if you
if you get British humour.
Yeah,
I think.
But I think they just flatly refused to make any rewrites to suit the American audience.
It's classic tale of one thing. Like they're trying to take something that's very English and broaden it out, broaden its appeal. But it didn't quite pan out like that. No. But they're making a new film currently, which is about cavemen, called Early Man, which is out in a couple of years, which is, plasticine cavemen.
That's the lead time on these films, because they get to do about like 1 second a day.
Well, it's proper stop motion, isn't it? And it's laborious. But do
you think Nick Park's there actually animating it, or does he just like hire it out to some?
Well, he'll be on the floor, I'd imagine. But he might not be the one actually like manipulating the models.
Is he? I mean, I've never seen any interviews with the guy or anything like that. But the idea I get is that he's just like a nerd who...
It's not unlike that, yeah.
He was just like when he was a kid in the 80s, used to make stop motion videos at home and got really, really good at it.
Yeah.
And is now like a master of the craft.
It's probably something like that, yeah. I don't know that much about him, but I have seen interviews with him, and he is sort of exactly how you'd imagine.
Glasses.
Yeah,
That haircut.
Well, not necessarily that, but like, not necessarily in terms of his appearance, but just like his personality and his.
I'm not having a go.
Well,
you got glasses and a bad haircut.
Oh, there you go. If we're talking about haircuts,
well, I've had one. So, yeah. Follow us on Twitter for more information about my haircut.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. At HowToSurvivePod.
Anything else to say about Wallace and Gromit, Chris?
No, not really. It's a good film. It's also on Netflix.
Yeah.
Go watch it for a laugh.
Yeah.
It's good.
I remember the old ones. They're quite good, aren't they?
Yeah.
I was cracking up yesterday telling, was it you?
I don't know.
I was telling someone about it, and I was describing the penguin.
Right.
Feathers McGraw. From the Wrong Trousers.
That's it, yeah, Wrong Trousers.
And I was like trying to explain that he was a penguin, but he was disguised as a chicken by putting a red rubber glove on his head.
Yeah.
And it tickled me, I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah. Well, there's a Grand Day Out in the Wrong Trousers, and then
A Close
Shave, and A Matter of Loaf and Death.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. Where they've got a bakery.
Entrepreneur, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Like that's exactly what they are. It's the British entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
Eccentric and entrepreneurial. Yeah. But they are good fun, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's right. It's been nice talking about a
pleasant film.
Yeah. Exactly. A film where it's like, oh, now we've got to talk about the rape scene.
Yeah. Do you remember the scene where someone got their eyes gouged out?
Yeah. Let's talk about that in detail. No. Yeah. How would you survive Wallace and Gromit?
I did have an idea. I guess you could like drug the vegetables. Just inject some like sleeping pills in there.
That makes sense, yeah. Can Gromit can read?
Yeah, he reads the paper, doesn't he?
Yeah. Can he can hold the paper as well?
Yeah.
Could he hold a pen?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think he could learn to write?
I think he probably won't, yeah.
I mean, he got a degree, as we see from the title sequence.
Oh, he got a diploma?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, you see him in the title sequence, he's in a graduation gown with like Wallace with his arm around him, and he's got like a scroll. So
it's well funny.
It looks like a bachelor's degree to me. So I don't know what his bachelor is in.
Engineering, probably
engineering. Although he doesn't seem to do much.
He's just tinkering. A lot of tinkering.
What, Gromit?
Yeah.
I think Gromit seems to be doing more the sort of like
housework,
holding his head in his hands with sort of panic and like mortification, and like he's sort of he's like a handy presence, isn't he, Gromit? Yeah. Like if you could pick any of the characters that we've cut, whose films we've covered, to have with you in a survival situation, Gromit would be pretty high on the list.
More than like Mark Watney.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Mark Watney's obviously a very good candidate.
If Mark Watney had Gromit on Mars, he'd have been back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because he'd have like built a toy train set that leads up to back to Earth.
Yeah. I was struck though. I mean, dogs only live about 12 years.
Yeah,
it's not good, is it?
How old is Wallace? Because the first shot of the film is
Wallace with hair.
Wallace with hair, with a puppy Gromit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't look like he shaves his head.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like his MPB, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Gromit's got to be old now.
Yeah.
And I don't think Wallace
Sad,
would have like starved to death if he had he'd have been stuck in, you know.
Just imagine if the next Wallace and Gromit film, Gromit dies, and then it's just about Wallace trying to, you know how a lot of people, like elderly people,
Yeah.
they really struggle once their partners have died,
Yeah.
and obviously they lose that. Wallace doesn't have any friends other than Gromit. Like in each of the films, he sort of strikes up a relationship with a woman,
Yeah.
and then
It never comes to anything.
Yeah, exactly. So it just Wallace comes back to his cold house, having taken Gromit to the vet,
Yeah.
to have him put down because he's incontinent or whatever. He doesn't know where the cleaning supplies are in the house.
What I was thinking
And
is like he'll press a button in bed,
Yeah,
and like
A
it'll
mallet.
make a ratchet come downstairs, and like a boot will kick over a kettle,
Yeah.
which will like fill up a jug that will then sends in a long convoluted way. He'll end up getting dumped on the kitchen table.
yeah.
But if Gromit's not there to make his breakfast, he'll starve to death.
But also, like he'll wake up the next morning and he'll roll over, and just for a moment he'll forget that Gromit's not there, and he'll press that button that
Yeah.
for years has been a means of contacting his friend.
And no
to
one
make
will answer.
breakfast, and no one will be there. And then maybe, one day he can't even get out of bed, and
That's when the
maybe-
Babadook will
maybe-
get him.
yeah, Babadook 2.
Wallace and Gromit, the Babadook.
Oh,
It's been a nice day.
lovely time. Well, on that note,
So that concludes, Chris, what was a particularly upsetting and troubling film, which I think we've discussed enough now. So if you want to get in touch with us, anyone with any suggestions on how you'd survive in Wallace and Gromit or the Babadook, or any suggestions for holiday events we should have, whether that's Thanksgiving for our American friends or Canadian Thanksgiving for our Canadian friends, or maybe some sort of Brazilian holiday for our Brazilian friends. Do we have any Brazilian friends? Any Brazilian listeners?
probably. Hello.
Hi, Ola?
Hi, Ola.
No, Ola.
Oh, hola.
Ola, yeah. That's Portuguese, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, wait, if you want to get in touch, then please do.
Tell us how to say hello to you in Portuguese.
Yeah. And we'll see you in 2 days for Collateral.
But Joe, before we go, Joe,
Okay.
we're forgetting something. You haven't had your trick.
Oh, right, yeah.
So,
That's not really how trick or treat works, Chris.
well, it is today. So I'll just
Okay.
get it. So yeah, it's a bit the heavy one, but
It's quite big.
there you go.
All right. So what I'm looking at is kind of a large wooden box, little tatty, little dusty, with this like weird emblem on the side. Kind of looks like a heart, but like with a
More
like,
ornate, sort of.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like embossed.
It's sort of like it's a priceless heirloom,
Okay.
and it's something that I want you to have.
Okay.
You're getting married
looks-
soon,
Yeah.
and it's from my family, but I want you to have it.
Okay. It looks quite expensive. Are you sure?
Well, we've been doing this podcast a long time.
All right. Well, I'll open it up. Is this nailed on?
Well, it might have been from the previous. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'll get a crowbar. One second.
Get our How to Survive branded crowbar.
Yeah. So I'm opening the box now. God almighty, what is that smell?
Just take a look inside.
It fucking stinks.
Just
Is
have a look inside.
Is this rotten fish?
Have a look inside.
Have you tricked me with a rotten fish? Is this a literal trick?
Just have a look. Just put your hand inside.
There's nothing in it.
Just put your hand inside.
But there's nothing. There's visibly nothing in it.
Just put your hand in.
Fine. Oh, like what? It feels kind of slimy. if I had to guess, I'd say this is like cling film with like olive oil on it. It absolutely stinks. Like, what is this? The lights have gone out. Hold on, I need to wipe my hand off. Can you try the fuse box, Chris? Should be over there somewhere. Chris, fuse box. Chris, have you got a torch anywhere? Chris? Chris, do you have a torch? Well, there you are. I can see you now. What's with that axe? Is that my gift? Is that part of my gift?
Wallace and Gromit is not a fucking horror movie.
Yeah, I know. It was a joke, wasn't it? For the tree thing. The Halloween thing. You fucking lost it. It's a fucking axe.
You've made a mockery of this entire podcast. You've ruined the brand.
The fucking brand. It's a movie about. It's a joke, Chris. A joke. We were just pretending. All right, 2 can play at that game.
A chair? I have an axe and you hit me with a chair.
And now I'm gonna hit you with a saucepan.
Right, that's it.
Where did you get a chainsaw?
I've been carrying you for 65 episodes.
Well, maybe I should carry you.
Put me down.
Gladly.
Well, let's see how you fight with black magic in your eyes.
What? Ah, my eyes! My eyes!
You haven't seen the last of me. I'll be back.
I don't think he's lying. I think he'll be back. Probably on Wednesday to talk about Collateral. I'll be back as well, and I hope you will too. Happy Halloween.